Something straight out of the KGB archives. YouTube CEO nabs a YouTube-sponsored group's Free Expression Award amid content crackdown. Yep, YouTube sponsored an award show that was handing out free speech awards for the people who are most responsible for keeping the internet and keeping social media platforms free and open. Bought herself an award and was presented with it over the previous weekend in something that is ripped straight out of Stalinist Russia. What? I've been waiting to talk about this for a while, just waiting for things to pile up because I know YouTube would be making stupid mistakes, and this is just the perfect time to bring this to the forefront because it's you can't do anything but laugh. Viewers of the 2021 Free Expression Awards, oh my god, I want you to know why YouTube's CEO Susan Wojcicki, you fucking bitch, told the Crown despite her platform being a signature sponsor during an ongoing content crackdown. Yes, so many people I watch, probably other people that you watch who I'm not aware of, have probably got, if not just a warning, probably a strike as well. All due to just trying to keep the population safe. Meanwhile, assholes like James Charles can run around without any consequence. Hell, they'll run cover for her. Or they'll just artificially prop up channels like Brie Larson from a year ago. Remember, she still has a YouTube channel, right? So popular, so brave, so powerful with her anti-racist rhetoric, which she was going to bring to the platform because there's not enough vacuous assholes with the same bought and paid for attitude and the same written out lines and thousands of video editors to help them out. No. But that's what people want, right? That's part of that whole free expression thing that's so prevalent on YouTube. Media watchdog's Newsbuster noted the incredulous response from the recent Freedom Forum Award. God, it's titled just like terrible bills that the government would put forward, the Patriot Act, where we remove everything from you in regards to freedom. And then the Freedom Forum giving an award to somebody who bought and paid for it. Anyways, which attracted more than 40,000 viewers. Mazel tov, not that bad. Not that bad. Unless, you try to compare it to literally anybody who's engaging on the platform whatsoever. But hey, whatever. We want to be able to have a diverse and open a platform as possible and represent as many views. No, you don't. As many views as possible on the platform, Ms. Wojcicki said the April 15th live stream. But we also need to make sure there are limits. Remember, this is for a free speech award. And that we can see that sometimes we've always, since the very beginning of YouTube, had community guidelines. Yes, let us tout our rules while we're talking about freedom of speech. The problem, as Texas Senator Ted Cruz recently noted, is that Ms. Wojcicki admitted to muffling creators who hadn't run afoul of community guidelines. Oh yes, we got a full breakdown of that one. Because just a week prior, this is straight from the cow's mouth. Oh, I'm sorry, horse's ass. It's easy to make up content and post it from your basement. Hey, that's not fair. I'm one story up from the ground, you fucks. I don't make up stories. You guys see all my sources anyways. That's just a joke. Now let's talk about aliens. And post it from your basements so we boost authoritative sources. Defeating the purpose of YouTube because it is them-tube. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about them. It's about the 3-letter networks, the ABCs, the CBSs, the CNNs, the Foxes, all of them. It's about them. Listen, okay, if you watch YouTube in your off time, on a smart television, on some kind of a little media stick, some entertainment platform, you got the little tabs on the side, right? I'm pretty sure this is standard across all external platforms. You got the little tabs on the side. You got your entertainment, you got your subscription box, you got your movies that you can rent on there, even though all their advertising looks exactly like a great value version of Netflix's advertising. They definitely aren't trying to encroach on that market, assholes. You have the most enviable platform in the world, the second largest search engine and you just try to emulate a failing business practice. Whatever. No, you got those other tabs on the side, and then you got the news tab that's there. And what do they always push? I can only speak directly about Canada, but we got City TV being pushed, which is a subsidiary of Rogers or Bell. It doesn't matter. There's two major media companies in Canada. It's everything's either owned by Rogers, and that also stretches over into the entertainment side as well. They own Sportsnet on the sports side as well. And then you got Bell, who owns CTV, I think Global as well, and TSN. And then you got CBC, who's directly funded by the Canadian government. So what are you going to do? No, and then they're all pushed on the news tab, okay? All of them are there, and what do they pull? They're the ones who are getting pushed. They're the ones who are getting promoted by Wojcicki and her cabal of idiots. I pull better numbers. Literally, I do, okay? I've seen some videos that are on there covering similar topics to that of what I am doing. They have higher production value, okay? They have moving, flashing pictures. They got people with makeup on. They have people that just sit at their desk with their non-regional dialect and read off of a teleprompter and do not go off script whatsoever. Do not cuss. Do not say anything offensive and present the news. And what do they get? 30, 40. A couple of the videos might get 100 or some views. And these are major networks with thousands and thousands of subscriptions. And I can do better. I am doing better. But I'm not an authoritative source. Even though in the previous two videos, I was using ABC, Fox News, Daily Mail. In this video here, Washington Times, Epoch Times. The places that have a significant level of repute. These are the places that get cited. But I won't get it because I'm making content in my basement. Sure thing, stupid. But let's see her rationale for this. Get off my soapbox for a minute. YouTube CEO Stephen might as well. I'm sure she's going to join the Caitlyn Jenner bandwagon soon enough. Susan Wojcicki has acknowledged that the platform's policy of boosting authoritative media or mainstream media sources and suppressing independent creators in search makes it harder in some cases for channels maybe who are getting started or smaller. To be able to be visible when there's a major event or when people are looking at something that is science or news related. And that's exactly where you're striking everything down, even if you're not saying anything terribly offensive. But now my strike on my Bill Gates video, which is still up on Rumble and still up on Odyssey, by the way, makes a little bit more sense after what Joe Biden had to say about meat consumption. That's all I was saying in that video. I don't know why they'd track down on anything that has to do with science or the events of the day, but insists that the policy is really, really important. Yeah, you can keep saying it, but if you don't define why it's important, it doesn't make it any more valid. Wojcicki made the comments during an interview with The Atlantic's CEO. Oh yes, it's with The Atlantic, so you know that it's totally unbiased. Those fucking hacks. Nicholas Thompson at the World Economic Forum's, oh my god, at the Great Reset Council, great. Global Technology Government Summit 2021. While she acknowledged that the policy does make it harder for creators in some cases, Wojcicki argued that the policy is necessary. When we had the Las Vegas shooting, which is still being investigated by the Department of Justice and the FBI, by the way, unfortunately, there were a lot of people who were uploading content that was not factual. What? This is one instance. When are you going to start cracking down on just all of those high-profile cases, all of those high-profile police shootings? I'm sure that's coming. I'm not arguing for it. I'm just telling you guys, be prepared for that. Eventually, news coverage, current event stuff is just going to be relegated to anybody who is affiliated with one of their authoritative sources. I can see it coming. You guys probably can too. And it's much easier to get out to just make up content and post it from your basement than it is to actually going to the site and being able to report and have high quality journalistic reporting. Does she believe this, or does her handlers and her benefactors believe this? What? You couldn't possibly still believe in high quality journalism. Okay? It's been exposed 7 ways from Sunday that these people, their sources is normally just some fucking intern coffee runner. Right? I forget which story it was, but CNN had this White House inside source saying that Trump was such a Nazi. Like I said, I can't remember this story, but CNN, that's just their narrative. And then it ended up being some fucking flunky intern for, it was either the Department of Defense or for Homeland Security. Literally a kid who had no clearance whatsoever. But that's your high quality journalistic reporting. So sure, we want to enable citizen journalism and others to be able to report and other people to be able to share information. Somebody calls her mix a lot because I hear a big old butt coming on news channels. But when we're dealing with a sensitive topic, what you deem as a sensitive topic, instead of just getting information out there and letting people decide based on what they hear, we have to have that information coming from authoritative sources so that the right and accurate information is viewed by our users first. That's not for you to decide. Okay? What made YouTube successful? Crazy cat videos. Morons out in the forest thinking that they found Bigfoot. People sharing their alien stories. People just conversing about video games. Okay? You say that you need to find the right and accurate information that's out there. Eventually, you're just going to start determining what is right and what is accurate, not allowing people to look at the facts. You might not agree with those facts, but they could still definitely be true. Just because you don't want to give it any credit doesn't mean that it's any less valid. Just look at what Democratic elected officials, they'll tell you that Antifa is either a myth or an idea. Joe Biden, Jerry Nadler. And we can see them marching, carrying flags, being affiliated with the words anti-fascist right there. Breaking stuff, burning stuff down. But if a journalist, which is just another word for an activist at this point, doesn't want to report on it, does it exist? We're straying very, very closely to the Ministry of Truth, to the Truth and Reconciliation Department, and that's going to be at every major big tech platform. It happens very heavy-handedly over on Facebook, over on Twitter. It'll come over to YouTube. They're starting with a couple of policy tweaks when it comes to reporting on anything to do with COVID, anything to do with the 2020 election, which is going to get a little bit spicy after the events of the audit for Arizona right now. It's still going on right now. The live stream's up, at least on Epoch Times. I've seen it as well. We're going to see what their enforcement strategy is going to be like going forward, because I could only see this cracking down. And by the time that the midterms come up, I don't know how much coverage we'll be allowed to do. But at the same time, hopefully, this platform right here, this little community that we're coming together and making, because I'm talking with a lot of good people, it seems like every single day, and you guys are starting to interact with one another, and I'm really loving to see that. And hopefully, we can take it off this platform, because this platform right now is only going to let me get so far. It's only going to let you guys get so far before it just slams the door shut, kicks us all out, and just turns into cable television, where it's just going to be, you get your authoritative channels that you can go in and just consume and do not question, all under the guise of keeping people safe. So yeah, isn't this just hilarious? I had another little story on here, but I think that's a good place to end, because YouTube's insanity doesn't go unchecked. It does by some of the pundits that are out here, some of the people who take the time to go through the authoritative sources to drag this stuff up. But at the end of the day, you kind of end up like the people that she's describing here, making videos, making content in their basement, screaming at the top of their lungs, asking for somebody to do something about it. Most of us don't have the resources to do that. Hopefully YouTube turns a corner. Still love the platform, still think it would be great, but the direction that bitch is taking it, it's not a profitable one. It's not a sustainable one, because the walls just continue to close in further and further instead of trying to grab in more people. And the people that they are trying to grab in, the people that they are trying to spotlight, are not people that you should be looking up to. They're just the people that are the empty heads that'll just say whatever the party line is. They'll continue to push the H3H3, Ethan Kleins of the world, James Charles, whatever vacuous toy reviews there are. They'll continue to push those people, but the moment you step out of line, you get depersoned. So I'm just going to ride this wave for as long as we possibly can, and I'm glad anybody who watches this all the way through is coming along for that ride, because it's bumpy, but it's rewarding. And you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. We got some funny stories to talk about tomorrow. And until then, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.